Now on to the DD2 and DD2 Master final. Here's how the grid looks upcoming. Wout Kerstens on pole position, ahead of Axel Goes in second place. Second row of the grid is Mark Schupman and Imke Aars, third and fourth. Third row of the grid is Mika van der Pavert, work to do from fifth place, alongside Luca Nieuwenhuizen. Fourth row of the grid is Jesse Spans and Gwena Blokjaal. Fifth row of the grid is Nick Dantchenko and Wim Rolau, the first of our DD2 Masters. Sixth row of the grid is Dmitry Ostrovsky and Luca Weber. Seventh row of the grid is Timo Hug and Christoph Adams. And our final row is Derek van Kurt and Ton van Weert. In our DD2 Masters, Wim Rolau, Dmitry Ostrovsky 10th and 11th. We've got Timo Hug starting 13th, Christoph Adams in 14th, and Ton van Weert in 16th place. They're all racing for the DD2 Masters today. Not an ideal day yesterday for Mika van der Pavert, but could still recover some positions here today, especially against Wout Kerstens. As the one driver he couldn't really afford to drop points to. That's still to play for in this final. 13 minutes and 2 laps on the board. We haven't had a final yet. Get racing the first time of asking. We shall see how this one goes. But our fourth finals race of the day. Ready and waiting here as drivers now approach the fast left-hander, the penultimate corner, if you like, if you don't count the S's that come after it, up towards the hairpin. They very much, the corners after this left-hander, very much count as corners in the wet, perhaps not so much in the dry. But drivers now getting into formation. And a front row of Wout Kerstens and Axel Goes will take us and start this race. Definitely to keep an eye on Van der Pavert in fifth place in the 4.86. One to really try and get back up the order as swiftly and quickly as possible. But Kerstens was a very good competitor in the pre-final. Let's see how that stacks up for the final then, as we make our way onwards towards the start lights. We do go racing this time, and it's a good start there for the 4.66. That's Wout Kerstens from pole position, able to take a command here, but we head our way through, but he's lost out on that position almost instantly there as we head our way through in towards the next couple of corners now. Out of the hairpin we go. Looks like everyone just made it through, but Wout Kerstens looked like he got that start pretty much nailed, but then lost out at the hairpin. And I wonder if that's Schupman there, who's putting some pressure on as well up the order. But as our drivers now make their way through out of the tighter left-hander, the short run towards that flying left-hander with the gravel lurking on the outside. It is the 4.55, so that is Axel Goes from the front row of the grid, taking back the race lead. So Axel managed to get that move done at the hairpin, although Kerstens got the move done. He struggled there, and that's a yellow flag. That's a bit of a spinner at the second hairpin, but has managed to get going again relatively quickly. That's the 4.13. So that's Blokjaal, who now recovers onto the track. But our leaders then make their way through in towards this sweeping S section. It's Axel Goes ahead as we make our way through. And you can see Kerstens in second place here. And rounding off the top three is the 4.59 of Schupman here. Now, you can see there Kerstens is in second place. The timing screen doesn't show that. Potentially a transponder might be just needs a bit of a tap maybe from Kerstens here. But we make our way through in towards that final corner to get back down on the power once again. Axel Goes still leads the way as we head away through that right-hander. And Schupman third place then, very much eagerly watching on. That's a look of a move down the inside there for Schupman, down in towards the right-hander. And now Kerstens has to go defensive. And that might cost time here in his foray to try and close in on Axel Goes here. They get back on the power. The top three have managed to break away. Well, I was going to say break away from the rest of the pack, but they haven't really, because Van der Pavert is very much ready and on the case. Starting from 5th, now in 4th, as our 4 drivers make their way through in towards that left-hander. Now towards the hairpin we go. And Axel Goes is trying to break away as best as possible. It is Kerstens in 2nd place there. And across the line goes Schupman in 3rd. And then there you can see it is Van der Pavert in 4th place. Jesse Spahns has dropped a couple of positions there on that last lap, down to 10th place. But is this a gap starting to form then for Axel Goes? Is Kerstens defending from Schupman? Is that costing Kerstens some time here? Right on the back of them as well is going into today the championship leader in Van der Pavert. Nico Van der Pavert keen to get as many positions as possible, having starting from 5th place today. He's already made up 1 position. And we'll see now what he can do against Schupman here in towards the hairpin. Schupman running a little bit deep, and that is he sees the opportunity there, does Mika Van der Pavert, but he can't find the way through. Van der Pavert has to find another option, as again 2 slightly different lines being taken. Perhaps Van der Pavert here testing a different line and seeing how much grip there is there to launch an attack. I don't think at this point it's a concern for Schupman, because Schupman's trying to close in on Kerstens. Has to be careful of Van der Pavert behind, and that's why he's right onto the back of him now. Through in towards the left-hander before the short run towards this flying left. Through we go then. Just 1 to keep your eye on then. Schupman in 3rd, with Van der Pavert in 4th place. Van der Pavert again seems to take a tighter line towards the exit of the corner on the final corner, and it doesn't work that time around. But a wider line on entry as well from Van der Pavert to see if there's a way past Schupman at this moment in time. All that battling as well behind. Axel Goes has made a 1.5 second gap. So there's your battle for 2nd place here, as Schupman briefly turns defence into attack here against Kerstens in the 4.66. Wout Kerstens trying to hold on to that position then. And Schupman applying the pressure as they fly their way through. And on towards the hairpin, Schupman gets a little bit of oversteer on the exit of that left-hander. And again, you see different lines being taken by the drivers here, just to see what works. They're sticking to what they know, they're sticking to what they think is going to be the best line through here, and it's tighter lines now in towards the hairpin. And Schupman perhaps looks a move up the inside, but Kerstens had that one covered then in this battle for 2nd place. As they're taking a wider line, Van der Pavert again looking to apply the pressure, as well as that, fastest up the race last time around was Nieuwenhuizen. And Schupman there running a little bit deep. That might compromise his run into the left-hander. I don't think it did actually, so shows what I know. But Schupman now looking for a move down the inside in towards the left-hander. There's contact between the two, and that puts Wout Kerstens slightly off. I don't think he got into the gravel, but it certainly cost him time. Schupman moves up a position though, as does 2 drivers behind as well. So that's going to put Van der Pavert into 3rd place, and now he can see what he can do against Mark Schupman here. He'll try and get the power down, look for the move around the outside, up against the next left-hander. He'll try the old up and under here, and he gets the move done. So Van der Pavert into second place now. Nice move on Mark Schupman there. And now Van der Pavert, what can he do from this position with just over 5.5 minutes left on the clock? 2.7 second gap between himself and Axel Goes. Can he find the time he needs? He'll have to try and break away from Mark Schupman to begin with, though. That's going to be the first order of the day. As we head away in towards the hairpin now. Neuvenhausen, again, looking to see what he can do in that 4.88 then. Neuvenhausen has the fastest lap. He did have the fastest lap until Mika van der Pavert got the fastest lap there. So 57.6 from Van der Pavert last time around compared to 58.3 from Axel Goes last time around. 0.6 of a second gained for Van der Pavert. 4.5 minutes still left on the clock here. And there's Axel Goes who leads the way. Van der Pavert in second place. Mark Schupman in third. And Luca Neuvenhausen in fourth place. .5 seconds now is the gap. Van der Pavert lapping 0.7 quicker than Axel Goes on that last lap here. Very much finding the pace out there is Mika van der Pavert. Catching is one thing, passing is very much another, as is the same. But 1.5 seconds at the line with 0.7 of a second taken out of that lead on the last lap alone. Van der Pavert here very much locked in to see what he can do to close that gap down even further. That gap's come down again, just looking at it. As we make our way through in towards the final few corners, then in towards the hairpin we go in this sweeping S section. Back on the power we go. It's Axel Goes who still leads the way ahead of Van der Pavert. Van der Pavert, new fastest lap of the race, a 57.588. And that is another 0.7 taken out of that gap. The gap is now 0.7 between the two of them. Wider line taken by Van der Pavert there to try and get the power down earlier and get more of a run on Axel Goes here. In our DD2s, they make their way through in towards the left-handers. And this S section now in towards the back end of the circuit with the run towards that fast left-hander. How much speed do you take through there? Both drivers keeping it nice and tidy right now. With just over 2 minutes on the clock then. Again, two different lines. Which one will be favoured? As they both make their way across the line. Axel Goes and Van der Pavert. Van der Pavert takes another 0.4 out of that time then. Down at the hairpin we go. And Van der Pavert look for a move around the outside. He'll certainly try a little bit of a switchback here. And Axel Goes defends the position. Van der Pavert looks again, has to look the long way around, can't find it on that occasion. But so close together as well. Look at that battle for third place as well between Schupman and Neuvenhausen. Two battles within the top four to keep an eye on here. As that looked like Axel Goes runs tighter into that left-hander before the flowing, fast left-hander. Van der Pavert then looks like he's got eyes on the victory here. Down in towards the hairpin. Can Axel Goes hold on for a few more laps? As they make their way across the line in towards the first corner, now towards the first hairpin. Goes defends the inside line. Van der Pavert will have to go the long way round. Loses a bit of time in that section. So Axel Goes gets a little bit of breathing space right now. It won't be a lot of breathing, but he'll get to have it on this occasion. There's Mark Schupman in third place with Luca Neuvenhausen in fourth. sweeping S section once again. Two different lines being taken. It just looks like Axel Goes takes a little bit tighter line. And Van der Pavert's happy to run a little bit wider to maybe put the power down and get more of a run as we make our way through in towards the hairpin, the final hairpin once again. There'll only be seconds on the clock, but what it will mean is there's 3 laps to go. Look at this battle for third place then. Luca Neuvenhausen wanting to get the move done on Mark Schupman then. As there's a battle for the lead. Goes, defends from the inside, and there's a move as well. I think that was Mark Schupman really trying to take an inside line there to defend from Neuvenhausen, but they're battling away for third place in the background. Neuvenhausen has got the move done. Neuvenhausen up into third place. Mark Schupman trying to find a way back up the inside. As we watch on here, the battle for the lead, as that was Van der Pavert looking for moves here, just trying to see if he can open up a gap that he can get his way through. Back on the power we go then, and onwards towards the final set of corners, as that was a look from Van der Pavert. He didn't commit to it. Axel Goes makes his way through in towards that S section, towards the final hairpin. He has to defend for 2 more laps here against Van der Pavert. Across the line they will go then, and through turn 1. Van der Pavert's got a great run here. Can he do anything with it? As Goes defends the inside line. Van der Pavert again getting back on the power. He'll have to look around the outside, but he's got the move done, has he? Has to leave the door open for Axel Goes. They run side by side then out of that corner, but it looks like that is a position gained then, and it is for Axel. Axel Goes loses out to the position then to Van der Pavert. Van der Pavert now obtaining the race lead, now has a chance to really extend it now. He can go for it. Will he pull out the fastest lap of the race just to put the cherry on top? He started in 5th place. Now he's looking to try and wrap up this victory. The final lap board is out. 1 more lap to go then in the DD2 and the DD2 Master. And a nice bit of battling between Van der Pavert and Axel Goes. Neuvenhausen up into third place. Kirstjens is up into 4th, with Schupman in 5th. Further down, at least in the outside of the podium places. But already, Van der Pavert is opening up that gap. Making his way through this winding S section before he slows it down. The tighter left-hander back on the power. He will go through the last couple of corners now, through the flying left-hander, as there's a cart off up ahead. That's the 510, that's Ton van Weert. As we make our way through out of the final corner we go then, and towards the line to take the checkered flag. It is Mika van der Pavert in the number 486 that takes the victory ahead of Axel Goes, and Luca Neuvenhausen takes 3rd place on the line. Kirstjens in 4th place, with Schupman finishing in the top 5. A great drive then from Mika van der Pavert to take the race victory from 5th place on the grid. And our DD2 Masters, I haven't given them a lot of love in this one, but we have the 555 of Christoph Adams, who came across the line 7th overall and to win the DD2 Master class. Then we had the number 519 of Dmitry Ostrovsky in 2nd place. And there across the line is the 535 of Timo Haug to round off our DD2 Master podium places. And it looked like Christoph Adams, once he got into the rhythm there, never looked back. Had a spin on the first lap of the pre-final, but managed to recover there. And Rulau, just see who's off into the gravel and will not finish this race. But let's take a look at the provisional standings for the DD2 and the DD2 Masters. For the DD2s, it's Mika van der Pavert who takes the victory ahead of Axel Goes, and it's Luca Neuvenhausen who takes 3rd place. Wout Kirstjens in 4th place, with Mark Schupman in 5th. Imke Arts in 6th place, with our winner of the DD2 Masters in Christoph Adams in 7th place overall. Nick Danchenko in 8th place. Dmitry Ostrovsky 9th overall, 2nd in class. And was the 5.35 of Timo Haug, rounding off the top 10 and third place in the DD2 Masters.